All right, I think I'm live now. All right. I'm using this thing. Shout out to my sis that put me on game about this. Hey guys, I got a few minutes before I go to church. I've been talking about this since yesterday, yo. It's been like bothering my soul. And want you guys to check it out. I'm actually oh, this doesn't have no sound. Let me see something here. Sorry, I'm doing a test run. Okay. All right, cool. All right, yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Um, record deals, y'all. Contracts and stuff like this, man. We've been hearing it for the last few days. Sorry, I'm in my car. I'm chilling right now. Car junkie. So for the last few days, we've been hearing about this whole issue with Megan Thee Stallion. Um, I've never heard of her music. I've heard people mention it. I've heard lyrics quoted, but I've never actually sat down and listened to her music. And I'm not going to do that. Me and my coworker, we were talking about this earlier, and he was saying that, yo, he's like, there's a chance that this may be a whole conspiracy for her to like get publicity and all this other stuff. Because if she's with Rock Nation right now. If you go to Rock Nation, she's part of their roster. But that's not the thing I want to discuss. The thing I really want to discuss is labels. What are, as far as like a record label, as far as like getting a record deal, contracts, what does that look like? And I'm going to be grabbing some information from it's called the Bandzoogle blog. Major versus indie. What really happens is it was created by this cat named Dave Cool concerning music advice. There's actually a book that my homeboy put me on. I gotta find a book because I actually downloaded. I gotta read it. So there's like three different types of labels. You got do-it-yourself label, you got independent label, and you got a major label. There's a lot of pros and cons between the three of those. So I guess we'll get into it real quick. Actually, we're not. We're gonna go straight into the cons of independent label, right? So here's the thing. For the most part, most independent labels that say they're independent most likely are not independent. There's usually like a label that they're actually under. Case in point is like Rock Nation. Rock Nation is actually under Universal Music Group. It was quote unquote independent until it got signed under that. So that's that. But here's the thing. Let's go ahead because they asked like what type of deal should you get, and they were saying that she initially had um I believe it was like an artist development. It was either art development or like a distribution deal. Some people get distribution deals. So, but here's the thing. Like, let's go ahead and get into it. She was saying that she only made 15K. One, all those things are like suspect to me. Like that brings up a huge red flag for me, in my personal opinion, that you done made close to like $7.5 million, and all you got to show for it is 15K. One, that's completely bogus. Because even the guy, the manager or the owner of the label was like, nah, yo. Like he said, I got proof. You know what I mean? He said, I got proof, I got evidence of this. Nah, yo. So in any case, it says 60%. It was a 60-40 deal far as her music, just music in general was concerned, as far as her selling her music. 60-40. They were saying that if she had signed to Rock Nation as a new artist, right, a new artist, she probably wouldn't have got anything like that. So they did her a favor, and then they gave her like 40% of her masters, right? Cool. And then according to Complex, if you read online, you'll find out that that the contract was actually constructed by this guy named Jay Ferris and her mother before she passed, and apparently a lawyer. She's like, well, I didn't have a lawyer and I didn't have this, but your mom helped you fix. Yo, nobody. A lot of stuff is kind of suspect first and foremost, but let's just entertain it for the sake of entertaining it, because this is something that we all have to learn. All right. As independent artists, this is something that we have to really take into deep consideration, because a lot of us all want to get signed because we're thinking about the marketing, we're thinking about the fame, but then we're seeing something like this and saying you can have the marketing team, you can have the fame and all that good stuff, and then only make 15K. You do better working at McDonald's. You do better being a teacher if all you got is 15K. And I was talking to one of my other co-workers, And she was like, yo, that's mad questionable because she has like a nice looking house and she's always buying stuff. How is it all that she have is 15K? Because what Megan Thee Stallion is basically saying is that she had to pay for the features, she had to pay for the stuff to get mixed, mastered, all this nice pretty stuff. Now, technically speaking, yes, she had to do that. Why am I saying that for? I am saying that because I would argue, and then you have to look at the paperwork of what she signed. I would argue and say that her label that she was under 1501 was basically recouping that money. Hey, you're gonna pay us back for this. That's where they get their 60% from. So yeah, sure. She's paying, she had to pay for it, but technically they paid for it. They're just recouping whatever she got, right? So essentially she had a 360 deal. So real quick, guys, I usually talk about relationships and stuff like that. I will talk about that, but for right now, this is like a test video. I'm using this thing called StreamYard, so I want to see how everything transpires. So this is my test video. Any other video that you guys will see, for the most part, I will be talking about relationships. I got like 3 more minutes before I get off here and head to church. So, real quick, let's see what a 360 deal is. All right, so seen by many as the future of label deals, this is a newer type of deal offered by labels. With a 360 deal, the label gets involved in all or most aspects of the artist development, including touring, brand development, in exchange for taking a percentage of all revenues generated across all channels, not just recorded music, which is what transpired with her. Uh, the benefit here is that you have the label's network and influence to help you generate the further revenue opportunities. The downside is that the label can dictate all aspects of your career and will take a cut of even more of the money that you make. That's basically what a 360 deal is. A lot of people have a 360 deal nowadays, right? You can try to finesse it. I have a cousin. He lives in Detroit, and just a quick story. When my dad found out how serious, like as an adult, found out how serious I was about music, when he actually sat and listened to it, it was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. He said, hey, you should talk to your cousin in Detroit. He knows about music and this, and the third. You know, Detroit, Motown, even though Motown has moved to LA. I'm not sure if it moved back to D-Town. But, you know, there's a lot of talented people in Detroit. And then I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. There's a plethora of talented people from back home, right? Plethora, right? A plethora. Any case, so I hit my cousin up. Hey, cousin, how you doing? The last time me and him actually talk for real, we were teenagers. So, anyways, I'm not getting to that. So he basically said, hey, cousin, he said, I can only speak for myself, concern is, but they tried to offer me a 360 deal, and the 360 deal was really trying to screw me over, and I ain't want no parts of that. He said, you can probably, he said, you can still try to get a 360 deal, but I just want to let you know that you're going to get screwed. You might as well do better being an independent artist. Now, and I'm going to close it with this. Now, let's look at Chance the Rapper. I don't recall what year exactly that Chance the Rapper came out, but let's just say that a lot of labels were pissed at this cat because he refused to sign a record deal, right? Meanwhile, the Joker won Grammys, but didn't have a record deal. That's mind-boggling, right? So I'm reading something from the Independent online. And let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. In 2015, Chance joined a band called Donnie the Trumpet and a Social Experiment. Let's fast forward. He released the album. That's in 2015 still. 2014, Chance worked on 5 songs for Kanye West's 2016 album, The Life of Pablo. He provided guest vocals for Ultra Light Beam, rapping I Met Kanye West. I'm never going to fail. He said, let's do a good blank job with Chance 3. I hear you're going to sell it to snatch the Grammy, so let's make it free. So the bars and the bars so hard. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, let's fast forward. Despite being streaming only, it became a top 10 Billboard hit. Let's fast forward through some more stuff, because this was something that I was reading, and it was saying that he was actually only solely dependent on word of mouth about his music. Word of mouth still. Miraculously, Chance has done all of this without a label supporting him. He's turned down record deals from numerous labels and depends on word of mouth and his SoundCloud account for distribution. Because you can use SoundCloud to like distribute your stuff. You can use SoundCloud, you can use TuneCore, you can use CD Baby, you can use DistroKid. There's other different accounts that you can use for us distributing your music. The other thing I was gonna say is copyright your music. Get get hooked up with a PRO, a performance rights organization, preferably BMI. You can get with ASCAP. ASCAP costs like $50. BMI is free. They take care of like tracking your music to get your royalties, to get your credit and stuff like that in case your music gets played somewhere in a movie or a TV show, commercial, all that nice pretty stuff. The dude won a Grammy. He's not signed, at least at that time. I don't know if he's signed to anything now, but at one point in time, he was his own label, technically speaking, right? So it's crazy. So, anyways, to hear all this, and it's kind of like they just grab somebody and say, "You're gonna be a machine." And somebody was saying too, and I was talking to my coworker, they were saying something along the lines of, "Oh, we can find another one like you. We can find another Megan Thee Stallion like you. I mean, you got a Nicki Minaj. Now we got a Nicki Minaj baby sister. You see what I'm saying? Then there's some other chick that my coworker was talking about that I don't care about, but it was like it was a trend. Like they wanted to hypersexualize women and give women this mindset that oh we're giving you power. Meanwhile, it's technically like a white man at the end of the day sign off on stuff, even though we got black people uh kind of like being like storefronts. These people are paying them to basically degrade our black women, and then black women are saying, oh, we're controlling our sexuality. Not really. Not really. Somebody's paying you to be a hoe, but whatever. I digress. But in any case, guys, that's not really what I wanted to talk about. The thing is, if you desire to get signed, I mean, me personally, I still would like to get signed because I know what happens when you get signed, right? I understand like the publicity, the movement of your music. Now, the issue is like if you get signed, you don't really have too much say over your music. Like like far as like releasing music, like me being an independent artist, I can release right now. I can release tomorrow. I can release 3 days from now if I feel like it. Nobody is going to tell me, Gerard, don't release that, or we're going to stop you from releasing it, or we're going to shelve you as an artist, right? I don't have to worry about that. I can go to sleep in peace. The only issue is marketing and marketing right. And even with that, I'm still learning things concerning that because you got to find the right audience. You need people to support you. Then you got some people that think that you're dope. They think that you're good, and then they won't share your music, and then they're looking at you sideways or all this other pretty stuff, or because you talk about things they don't want to talk about, or just because you as an individual. So it goes back to what Chance the Rapper concerning him. A lot of stuff went by word of mouth. So basically, one, he was dope. Two, you had people that wasn't hating, or not even hating, but like was just like, yo, I want to see this dude go far. I'm gonna talk about the cat, right? And then you got SoundCloud, right? I don't recall actually sitting down and listening to a whole Chance the Rapper song. I can't recall it. I might have to, right? But I seen him on Rhythm and Flow, and I was like, yo, this dude is he's pretty cool. Like he be trying to like really give people advice, like, hey, be mindful of this, check this out, this, that, and the third. And he was unsigned. Wow, crazy. So it's possible. But guys, if you desire to get signed, please read your contract. Please read the contract. If I made a post on my IG, man, Gerard Kenneth, right? And so I was saying, yo, we have the audacity to read text messages, read Facebook messages, IG posts, IG messages, mugs trying to slide in our DMs or whatever. But you mean to tell me that you ain't got time to read? We spend hours on hours just on on social media reading stuff. Not just looking at videos, reading stuff, reading horrible English or whatever, or if you speak Spanish or any other language, reading horrible like sentence structures, or reading whole thesis. You mean to tell me you ain't got time to sit your tail down and read your contract? Come on, bruh. Anyways, let me go ahead and end this for my test concerning this video. The next video, as far as my YouTube is concerned, I am going to be discussing the background history behind my song called Breath and Chances. Please check that song out, Gerard Kenneth, Breath and Chances. If you do not know how to spell my name is right there. But if you don't know how to spell my name, it's Jarard Kenneth. Google me, find me on Spotify, I personally use Spotify, Apple Music, or iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, GerardKenneth.bandcamp, Deezer Music, iHeart. Man, my IG, like you can find my music. You find my music on TikTok, y'all, for the most part, right? I'll be discussing the background history concerning my song Breath and Chances. And it's pretty interesting. I actually talk about my book called Why Love We're Created for Relationship. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I really appreciate you just checking out my test video. And that is it. Peace and God bless, and deuce.